This is a rather humorous story that occurred about 20 years ago, right here in this stable area. That summer, they were showing on Finnish television reruns of the old Tarzan movies. And I told Enrica and Jonas and Thomas a story about it. And they couldn't believe it. They told their father. And one day, I was driving from Kirkkonummi, turned to this road. He was with the 3 kids coming up, and he waved, and I pulled my car over. And he comes, and I roll my window down. He said, "Is it true what the kids told me?" I immediately knew what they were telling him about. And I said, "Yes, it is." What was it? Well, it so happens one day, talking to them, and they were telling me about the Tarzan film which they saw. I said, "You know, I saw the making of a Tarzan film when I was a boy in Guatemala, about 9 years of age, 8 years of age or something like that. We lived in the capital, Guatemala City, where my father was in the insurance business. But once a year we would drive up into the mountains because they're beautiful places up there. And one of our favorite places to go was an Indian village called Cheetah. And that Indian village, every Thursday and every Sunday, certainly in the summer, had the big market. And the Indians would come down out of the hills with the things. The men would be carrying on their backs the supplies which they wanted to sell at the open market, and the women had them on their heads this way. And we were staying in the place which you normally stayed. It was really the only nice hotel, the only hotel maybe in there, called the Mayan Inn. Now the Mayan Inn had a square, typically like old Spanish architecture, this way, and in the middle of the square is a lovely garden with trees. And on the inside, the outside was the wall, were hallways, each one, and the rooms were off the hallways. And then you went into the lobby here. And I know my brother and I, he was 2.5 years older than I, one of the things we loved to do, because in one of the halls they had a table tennis, a ping pong table. And we loved to go down, not far from our room, and go play table tennis. And one day we went there, and lo and behold, who was there but some of the crew for the film that they were making in that village. And one of the crew looked at me as the younger of the two. He said, "Would you like to play table tennis with Cheetah?" And I opened my eyes. And I said, "Sure, why not?" He said, "Well, you get the paddle there." I got the paddle and the ball. And over on the other side, now, it happens to be that Cheetah, those type of animals, have big shoulders, big chests, but very short legs. So they had to have a bench over there, and they put him on the bench. And then they said to me, with the ball and the paddle, "Okay, you hit it to him." And I hit it to him, and he went, "Oh!" and hit it back. And I hit it to him, and he hit it back. And I couldn't believe my eyes that I'd played with Cheetah. Now that's the story which I told the lads, but I want to tell one more, and I'll come back to it. It so happens that a little tiny road, cobblestone, building on that side, low building, it was against the Mayan Inn, and that led into this great large square where the market took place. And I came out the door there, and what do I see driving through that but a convertible, a big convertible, open top and everything like that. And there was only this much space on either side. And you could see the Indian women, the Indian men get over to the sides of the car. And he was coming very slowly. And you know who was driving the car? Cheetah. Why? because his handler was sitting to one side. He had his hand on the wheel here, and he had his feet here, so all Cheetah had to do was to guide it. But my eyes went big, and their eyes went big. But the main thing I remember was that playing ping pong. So when I told these lads here, and the lads, the three of them there, they told their father. And so what happened is, here our cars pass here, and he's waving at me, and he comes over and I roll my window down, and he says, "Is it true?" And I said, knowing exactly what he's talking about, "Yes." And he goes back and the kids are giggling and saying, "We told you so, we told you so." So that's the story of Cheetah and Tarzan and his kids and me.